Another day here in Germany, looking for the traces of the fighting between the Russians and the Germans. I just wanted to kind of enlighten you a little bit more. We are at a German WW2 Eastern Front Forest area. If you haven't already, please watch the part 1, 2, 3. I'll put the link in the video description. You get a much better context and you can enjoy the material in a completely different way than just spotting this one. But basically, we're at the Front, where the Red Army came thundering in towards Berlin and the forests in the Berlin area. They came in with the Katyusha rocket launchers. We found things like that. Artillery guns everywhere. We found stuff from that. Mortars. We found things from that. And we have had a look at some of the strategic and tactics and material that the Red Army used. We've seen the Hitlerjugend, the Volkssturm, the Reserves, Luftwaffe, Kriegsmarine, everything was sent out there. They manned up and put machine guns and all kinds of weapons on regular people, and they just sent them out there, even with bikes. So the Red Army, they came thundering in, they huge artillery parade, and then they wiped out the Germans. But today there are still small proofs of what happened there, and we found a lot of them already. You can see that in part 1, 2 and 3, and today there will be a couple of surprises, and we even find pieces from German Panzers, and that is pretty amazing. So it's gonna be good. Please leave us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll be able to do even more work. But now let's go back into the forest and see what we find. Here is something that could have been a foxhole. There's a lot of that here. We're just passing through a random small wooden area, and we'll share what findings we find from this spot here today, and let's see what it will bring. Right ahead there, there's a couple of deers, and they were running like madmen over the forest ground here. Came from the left and crossing over here, so they're in there in the bush. That's so cool. When you go metal detecting, you can actually experience quite a lot of things, history, share with some others, and also see a lot of wildlife. Piece of a aluminium fork. Could have been a fork from the soldiers, or even it could be a fork from just anybody here. Looks like it's aluminium, so I'll give it a clean and see what it tells us. On the live ammo over there, and another one lurking down here. It's quite a neat find, actually. To prove that the Russians were exactly here. I doubt that this was dropped by an aircraft. Could have been, but he always finds the special things. Okay. My daughter found yet another special thing. That is from the looks like the German full gas mask. Yes, it is. And you can see some of the rubber still there. That's the breathing valve. And you can actually find, let's find the date. I'll show that to you. There it is, and it's very clean. And let's see, 1943. Have a look there. There you can see the date of the mask. That is special. Just to show you how special Germany can be. This is the forest we picked to go into today. It's almost like a random pick. Well, we've been here one time before, but the first time was just random. And my daughter, as I told you, is very good at finding stuff just at a moment's glimpse. So down there, it's a very special relic. Of course, now we have found one each on this trip, so maybe you can take it up and let's see what it is. For those of you who recognize this small thing, doesn't look like too much, but under that sort of surface there's actually the iconic German belt buckle. and right now it's impossible to see what was on it. Could be the Luftwaffe, the Heer, SS, you don't really know. I do believe I see some leather there. Do you see? I think, no, that's the iron. But congratulations to you, young lady. That is a really, really good finding. And we come back with some pictures and stuff, so we hopefully can show a little bit more of this little thing. But that just shows you that you don't have to be a professional, you don't have to be a expert to do this. You can do it just with your enthusiasm. Go out, have fun, and look for history. There it is, her second belt buckle. Looks like the standard regular here with the Gut mit uns sticker in the center. It's an iron, it's in bad condition, but no matter what, it's a finding. And for her, it's very, very special. And also for me, because it's so nice when you find things like that together and you can share the moments. Very, very good. Now she's digging up some pieces from a gas mask from a soldier. This is one of the buckles, and probably some more buckles. What is that? Yeah, that's a small one. So we have a couple of buckles for a gas mask. Maybe the gas mask and the buckle came from the same thing. Who knows? My daughter again with some Panzer relics. This is a track from a Panzer, and almost like a surface find. These are separate pieces of the track, all been on one of the Panzers, digging its way through the forest here. That is pretty amazing. Panzer track. Holy, that is really nice. Look at that, it's very, very heavy. Again, we're gonna have a little study of what happened here. The Red Army comes in from the east. The Germans are waiting in the forest in the west. And yeah, there were actually Panzer II or Panzer II in specifically this area. And there were actually 3 of them there, and they all belonged to the SS little group that was actually there. And the main reason for them being there, I found out later, was for reconnaissance and for being able to create a strategy to get the Red Army further west. So they kind of already knew that this thing here would not last, but the SS had a plan of making a huger and larger defensive position further west. But that didn't matter, you know, the Red Army, it was bulldozing in and took out everything. But these are the track links that are still out there, and they are precisely these links here. And at this specific position, we have found more than 40 of these. And the reason for that is that it was a collection point. There was a group collecting in one area. The SS group collected there. There were at least 3 or 4 Kettenrads. There were 2 or 3 or even more Panzer II. Not a lot of that has been written down into history books, but they are there. There's a proof of that. And why? Well, because there's also been found SS dog tags there and things like that. So we know for sure that the SS was there, and I believe they were there with the Panzers. But to find that thing there is such an incredible, it just gives you such a special feeling, because this is a direct link. You have the Red Army coming in there, you have the Katyushas, you have the artillery, you have the mortars, and you have the Soviet anti-tank PTRD 41 rifles everywhere. And then suddenly, just take a look at that piece there. It's been damaged, you can see that. And some of them are twisted and mangled. So we have this direct link for Red Army coming thundering in. We have the gathering point of the SS with the Panzer II or Panzer II, and then all mayhem, Katyushas, artillery, mortars, boom, blowing them up. And we know for sure that only one of these reached the suburbs of Berlin just a few hours after the Red Army crushed this whole forest area, and that is written down in the history books. But I think it is such an amazing thing to be able to go out and find the direct link of the happenings of the Panzer II and that little track link. Absolutely amazing. Well, okay, that's it. Let's go back to the little adventure. Amazing. So here we are in a short moment. We found live Russian ammo. We found gas mask parts from 1943. We found here belt buckle. We found some tank tracks. I don't know what the next thing will be, but I'm really happy for her. And doesn't matter what we find, we share time together. That's the most important thing of all. Such a beautiful atmosphere. Birds are singing. Beautiful weather. It's not cold. There's a cartridge from a Russian soldier still here. It's a shovel. Maybe trench digging. I don't know. Stuff is fine. I'm not too sure. But that really, yeah. Look at that. That is a heavy duty artillery shell casing. And it's been on the surface for such a long time. Wow. That is big. Cool finding. Not that easy to see. This is actually a foxhole. Here's the entrance. You have the walls around it, covering the area of the forest over there. And it's hundreds of them in here. So they've definitely been here, and the action really took place here. Something down here gave off a very hard signal. So it's... what is that? Could that be a machine gun magazine? I think we found a machine gun magazine down here. Yes, we have. Look at that. Wow. That is a machine gun magazine. I think it's for the... is that for the Sturmgewehr? Wow. That is special. Flattened, of course, maybe a tank rolled over it. But that is special. Wow. A friend of mine in Germany always told me to look at the Wegrand, or the road shoulder. And this is it. Just down there. That's the road shoulder. And this is an MP44 magazine. That's special. It was the sort of last of the automatic weapons that Hitler's Germany produced. A very good weapon. Right here on the road shoulder. It's getting late. Probably some of the last digs of today. There's another one. Got a live Russian one. Not too far from where the MP44 magazine was. Still on the road shoulder here. Actually getting dark here. Still on the road shoulder. I have a small live ammo sort of spill going on here. And there are more in the ground. So it's here. After all of these years, someone dropped them and we find them. Oh yeah, that was quite a day. We've been out there for so many hours, but it was well worth it. And now we have, through these 4 episodes, if you haven't seen the 3 others, there is links to those in the video description, as I said. We have now found the remnants of the World War II battlefield between the Red Army and the Germans, and we all know the outcome of that. The Germans were wiped out completely by the thundering Red Army, and these are just small pieces of what happened there. But by finding each and every small piece here, you've seen that we found artifacts from the artillery parade, from probably both sides. We've seen Katyusha rocket pieces still out there in the forest. That was devastating for the Germans. Such a dense bombardment they represented. And we've seen the mortars laying around out there from both sides, mostly the Soviets. We've seen the bike pieces, the bike bell from what is most likely either Hitlerjugend or Volkssturm, the reserves. We found buckles from the Luftwaffe, we found buckles from the Heer, we found Panzerfaust pieces, and we even found German Panzer pieces out there. And these are the true witnesses that can be transferred from that time frame to today, and in that way you, me, and everybody who watches can learn from it and get a little bit more understanding of what is out there, what happened, and can we human beings kind of think, what can we do to prevent that in the future? Well, history is everywhere and we will learn from it definitely, and I hope you learned something. As I said, a huge thank you to all my Patreon PayPal team members. You are the guys and girls who makes this come true. So if you want to check out the Patreon PayPal links in the video description, you can support us and we can do even more crazy stuff for you to learn from and enjoy. And other than that, if you enjoyed this, please leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you know for sure that we will definitely meet you out there in the next one. So stay safe, keep smiling, and goodbye.